Alright, you guys. So if you go to our Algebra 1 page, right, there is a new channel, week 10, but, right, it goes in alphabetical order, so week 10 will be below week 1 because of the weird algorithm that computers use to determine alphabetical order. So it won't be below week 9, it'll be below week 1. So we go to week 10, right, and we see that it says Monday suggested work. Right? The reason why it's suggested is because we made it to the last week of school. So I am not going to be posting the assignments because, as you know, I usually post all the assignments are due on Sunday. And since Sunday will be summer vacation, right? It'll no longer be a school day. I'm going to go ahead and not post the assignments, right? So you could do it to follow along, but there will be nowhere to upload it. Okay? But I will still continue the same format where I'll help you with half the problems. And I will also be posting Khan Academy work on your account just so that way you could access it if you want. Once again, I will not be checking your Khan Academy progress at this weekend because it'll be summer vacation. So, anyways, we're doing page 1, questions 14 and 15. Right, since there's no assignment, you're going to have to use the where it says page 1 examples and page 2 examples. Right, so we're going to go to page 1 examples. And we scroll down. The questions are at the end, right? So we want to see where it says problems. We're doing 14 and 15. Right? So right now, right, for 14, we have y is less than or equal to the absolute value of x plus 2. Remember, the absolute value just means that you're going to make it positive, right? So think about you add 2, then make it positive. Let me just... So, yeah. You add 2 and make it positive. So, right, negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6, and then you just make it positive, so it'll be 6. Right, negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4, then you make it positive to make it 4. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2, make it positive to make it 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0, which is already positive. Right? Technically, neither positive nor negative. 0 plus 2 is 2, which is already positive. 2 plus 2 is 4, which is already positive. 4 plus 2 is 6, which is already positive. And 6 plus 2 is 8, which is already positive. And 8 plus 2 is 10, which is already positive. Right? So you add 2, then you make it positive. So there are points. Right? Connect it with a V. Right? And then we pick 2 points, right? So I picked 0, 0, and 1, 5. Right? Remember, we always want to pick 0, 0. And I like to pick along like the 1 line, go in either direction, because 1's a pretty easy number to plug in. Right? I always pick along the 1 line, because sometimes if I pick along the 0 line, students will have difficulties determining which coordinate is 0. So, but anyways, let's plug these into the original equation. Right? 1, 4 and 0, 0. Right, so we have 4 is less than or equal to the absolute value of 1 plus 2. Or we have 0 is less than or equal to the absolute value of 0 plus 2. Right? So we have 1 plus 2 is 3. Oops. 0 plus 2 is 2. My mistake. So we have 4 is less than the absolute value of 3, or 0 is less than the absolute value of 2. Right, they're both positive, so they stay the same. So 4 is less than or equal to 3, or 0 is less than or equal to 2. right? Obviously, 3 is not bigger than 4, but 2 is bigger than 0, right? This was orange, so this will be below the V. So shade in everything below the V, and we have our solution. So for the next problem, right, this was 14, now you have 15. So this one's like a little bit, right, y is greater than or equal to negative absolute value of x, then you add 3. So you take x, you make it positive, then you make it negative, then you add 3, right? Since this is always positive, and this negative is should be more of thought of as the opposite of, right? The opposite of the absolute value will always be negative, right? So it's like we're adding 3 to just -8, -6, -4, -2, 0, -2, -4, -6, -8, right? We'll see like here when we plug it in, right? The opposite, so the absolute value of 8 is 8, and then the opposite of 8 is -8, so it's -8 plus 3, right? The absolute value of 6 is 6, or the absolute value of -6 is 6. Find the opposite, right? So it's -6 plus 3, and so it'll be -3, right? The absolute value of -4 is 4. The opposite of 4 is -4. -4 plus 3 is -1. The opposite, or the absolute value of -2 is +2. The opposite of +2 is -2. -2 plus 3 is 1, right? Then we have the absolute value of 0 is 0. The opposite of 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. The absolute value of 2 is 2. The opposite of 2 is -2. -2 plus 1. -2 plus 3 is 1. The absolute value of 4 is 4. The opposite of 4 is -4. And -4 plus 3 is -1. The absolute value of 6 is 6. The opposite of 6 is -6. -6 plus 3 is -3. That should be a 6 there. So the absolute value of 8 is 8, and the opposite of 8 is -8, and -8 plus 3 is -5. So there we got our points. So let's make our dots. We connect it with our line. We pick a point, right? 0, 0 is below. We could actually pick that same point 1, 4, and we're ready to plug in. Right, so when we plug in, right, we replace it. We have 4 is greater than or equal to the opposite of the absolute value of 4 plus 3, or 0 is greater than or equal to the opposite of the absolute value of 0 plus 3. Right? The absolute value of 4 is 4, the absolute value of 0 is 0, and the opposite of 4 is -4, and the opposite of 0 is still 0. So we have 4 is greater than or equal to -4 plus 3, or 0 is greater than or equal to 0 plus 3. Right, so 4 is greater than or equal to -1, or 0 is greater than or equal to 3. And right, 4 is not bigger than -1. 0 is not bigger than 3, but 4 is bigger than -1. Right, so we see this blue dot. This is above the shape. So we're going to shade everything above this V shape. Right? And then we have problems 15 done. So remember that this is all you had to do today. Oops. This was all you had to do today. Right, because the suggested work was page 1, questions 14 and 15. So that was it for today. Tomorrow, there will be a couple problems to do for written work. Remember, it's just suggested since you won't have to turn it in. But there will also be Khan Academy work. And also remember, the Khan Academy work is suggested because it'll be due after summer begins. Right? So that's all we got to do for today. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And just a few more days till summer vacation.